All the counselors are on the call. You can hear us, Councillor Woods, I trust.
I can, Mr. Mayor. Sorry, I just had to find mute.
Okay, and you're not going to put your camera on, is that correct?
It kicks in and out a little bit. I noticed that I had what was it? Not library, nursing station committee meeting the other day, and when I had it on the video on my phone outside, it kept kicking out on me. So I'll try, if I'm going to talk, I'll try and turn the video on, and hopefully it works. Other than that, I'll leave the video off so I can hear everybody.
All right. Okay, thank you. So I would like to call the meeting to order, and we'll get started. And the first thing I'd like to do before we do any business is simply introduce Laura Dean. Laura is clerking for the entirety of this meeting today. Michelle Hendry is she's basically off today, and so she won't be present in the meeting at all for any part of it. And so I asked Laura is a lawyer with Aaron and Burles. And she's done this before and knows what the rules are and everything. So, but she's going to be our clerk for this meeting today. And we don't have to appoint her because Michelle has already transferred to her. She can delegate her duties under the municipal act. So, but I want to welcome her anyway and thank her for joining us on short notice. So, and just to introduce the counselors to you, Laura, we have Councillor Scott. I don't know what order there are on your screen, but anyway, I'll do them in alphabetical order. Councillor Janice Gray is here.
Hi.
And Councillor Joe Lamb, who was speaking earlier about the Blue Jays, Councillor Scott Nash, and Councillor Brian Woods, and you can see him. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Let's get going. First thing I have to ask, is there any pecuniary interest to declare? And that's just, remember, we're still in open. So if there's a specific item in closed, I'm going to ask you the same question again when we go in closed. So if you want to stay for part of the closed, you want to leave for part of the close, then you would bring that up at that time. But if there's one whole item here that you don't want to deal with, I guess you can raise it now. Okay. Then the first order of business would be.
Mr. Mayor, I didn't understand. If there's one whole item that you don't want to deal with, you can raise it now. If there's an item that, for instance, if I didn't want to partake in it in the closed session, then I would identify it when we go into close, or I would identify it now.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the agenda of the open meeting, and it has it has 5 items. I'm just looking at the detail. You will see that those are categorized by what part of the municipal act we're using as an exemption for not having it open, right? But when you get into the detailed agenda on the pink sheet, you'll discover that like 4.3 has a bunch of other items under it, and I think it's the only one. So all I'm saying is, if you want to, if you right now, if you declared a conflict of interest with respect to 4.3, you would be gone for the whole of it. So that's why I said I would ask again.
Okay.
Because I think someone may not wish to be present for one of the items under 4.3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. So if there's nobody wants to, has a pecuniary interest with respect to any of these, or a conflict of interest, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order. Moved by Councillor Nash, seconded by, I see, Councillor Woods. So be it resolved that the agenda for this meeting be adopted as presented. All those in favor, please indicate.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question? If I
You may.
And maybe this is a question for Laura. I just want to make sure, I know this is probably going to be a fairly lengthy meeting, and thanks for organizing the clerk to be here. I just wanted to make sure, I guess a couple things. I know there's a dial-in phone number on the website for the meeting, because I pulled it off of it. But when we go into close, do we have a different PIN number? Right now, any dialing in from the public that is on the call, which could come in at any time, is published on our website. So when we go into closed, anybody can dial in from the public, because if I pull up the agenda under the even for
Okay, I understand your question and I'll answer it. The only people who are on this meeting are the 6 of us. There are 3 people in the waiting room who have not been admitted. And they are people who will be speaking to Belvedere when it comes up, right, later on, but no,
but if
there's no.
so if anybody else calls in from the public, there's a way to stop them from.
Well, they go into the waiting room and unless I admit them, they don't come in, right? So,
Okay, that's my question. And then,
so, and if there were some there, I would admit them right for now, but then
Yeah,
we would have
perfect.
to remove them later on.
yeah, and then the second part is, under 4.3, and I just again want to make sure we're getting this right, so it asks for some clarity. Under 4.3 on the public agenda, as you'd mentioned, it says 4.3, personal matters about an identifiable individual, and note the individual, including municipal or local board employees pursuant to the Ontario Municipal Act. And then there's a bullet, human resource matters. And from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand is on our agenda, we actually have 7 different items. They're all different items. None of them are related to one specific topic. So we actually have a 4.3.1 all the way to 4.3.7. And from what I understand, that should have been shown on there, maybe without details, of course, but that there's actually 7 matters, because the way this would read, the public would think there's only 1 matter. So I'd ask
Well,
somebody for clarification.
That's not, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that's not how we do it. It's they only, the detail is not shown because there's no, all you would see would be that there are whatever the number is, 7 human resources matters. I mean, I suppose somebody could have put a 7 there, I guess, but there's no, you can't provide detail about what they are, right? So it's
Well,
they're
yeah,
just,
sorry, through you. I know you can't provide detail, but I understand that you're supposed to list them at least. Right now, the public would think there's 1 matter that we're speaking to under 4.3 when there's really 7. So I'd ask if the clerk can just confirm if we're okay to proceed based on that it's not there. And that when I went on our website today, there is no notice of this meeting anywhere. It's not posted anywhere on our website. It's not posted on the calendar. It's not posted on our website. It's only under meeting. So I just want to make sure again, before we start, that we're okay to continue. That's all. Thank you.
do you have any comment, Madam Clerk?
And I have to admit, I have not seen a recent version of your entire procedural bylaw, but I would assume that that includes some provisions for requirement to provide public notice of meetings. So without the benefit of having reviewed that, I'm not sure what is required in this particular municipality in terms of notice to the public.
But are you saying there's no, Councillor Nash, are you saying there's no mention of the meeting on the website at all?
If anybody right now was to click on our website under public notices, you won't see any public notice for it. And on our calendar, you won't see anything noted on our calendar for it. I just checked it before I clicked on. I was surprised.
Excuse me for interrupting. If you go to our website and click council and agendas, right? That's where, you can get the audio eventually and the agendas and things like that. Is it not mentioned there that special counsel, like, you know what I'm talking about?
It's
You
just
go to the,
posted under agendas, but there is no public posting of it, that there's gonna be a meeting on their.
no,
public-
it's not, no, but it is posted publicly in
It
the
is.
sense that if people go to our website and click on the council and agendas or council and meetings or whatever it's called, and you click on it, I'm sure there it says special council meeting, March the 30th.
It-
At
Yeah.
3:30 or something, right? So I don't know whether that's enough public notice, but it is there. It has been posted.
It is there with,
Anyway, hasn't it not?
yeah, you are 100% correct, Mr. Lamb. It is, or Counselor Lamb, it is there. The only thing is on that posting, it shows 4.3 is one item, not 7.
Okay, but that's a separate thing. Your question, as I understood it, was, can we even proceed with the meeting because it's no public notification? And I'm saying to you, I think there is.
Well,
that
I need-
okay? Is everyone in agreement with that?
yes, and that's, I mean, that would be my ruling. I'm not suggesting that we're going to cancel the meeting at this point. We've invited a number of people to come and speak to some of these items, and they're in the waiting room. So I don't want to keep people here forever. I think the public, the public could have come. There isn't anybody here who's waiting. But, anyway, there is a notice of the meeting. We've set aside the condition of the act and the procedure bylaw, in my opinion. Plus, anyway, so let's, again, is everyone in favor of the agenda, please? Don't think I got a show of hands.
Yep.
All right.
Now, I think there's going to be certain things under the agenda that we won't be able to talk about today because because Michelle's not here.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll deal with that as they come up and.
We will come to that
Urban,
in just,
I'm thinking.
yes, and thank you, in just a minute. We'll come to that.
Okay, thank you.
Next item of business is to move into closed session, please.
I'll move.
Moved by Councillor Lamb. Seconded by Councillor Woods again. Thank you, and that is looks like 3:44 PM. And again, it's for the purposes of these same 4 items that we were talking about a second ago on the agenda. Not 4 items, 5 items, I apologize. So all those in favor, going in camera. All right, that's carried.